Okay. Hi, everyone. This is ExO Economy Core. It is November 23rd on a Thursday. What is it? It's not Thursday. It's a Tuesday. And you're about to hear all the updates from the amazing projects going on throughout the EXO economy, leveraging the EXOS token as part of the open EXO community and the broader EXO ecosystem, and how we are interfacing with the world of crypto. Over to you, Nikki.
All right. Thank you. So we've got Town Hall number 11 coming up on December 7th. Save the date. We will be featuring speaker Adam Levine of Tokenly, not Maroon 5. And he's a colorful character, and I think we have some really cool things in store. He talks about the NFT world, an extension of what we talked about with Michael Janssen, and then earlier, Eric Poulier. Other than that, it's pretty brief. We do have Academy 3.0 ready to go. Ying can update us on what her process is to onboard people into the community, sending people to the marketplace, to our wallet, to everything else, foundational course, etc. And I have two requests. These are basically financial to sustain our economy requests. One is the Exoskeleton project. We're actually raising funds, and we now have a bank account and the donation button set up, et cetera. So I'm going to share that link. And then we are also raising funding on WeFunder for the same campaign. And basically, I just invite people who are passionate about helping augment human performance, or human mobility in this case, to be a part of all of that. So here are the links in the chat. And I look forward to response from the community, from our ongoing community. Over to you, Eric, I guess.
Thanks, Nikki. Hey, folks. Good seeing everyone. And I don't have much of an update from the EXOS to market, EXOS theme that we've been having most of the year. I think, as everybody knows, the work continues. And, as Kent has said lots of times, this is not a short-term project. We've had some ups and downs, of course. So just know that the work continues. From a core treasury standpoint, good news. Finally, we have all 5 treasurers, current treasurers, including the 3 new ones. I think all of you by now, Pratik, of course, Rodrigo, and Angelo, who both Pratik and Angelo are on the call with us today. Just a shout out to Trevor as well. And not only is everybody fully onboarded and everybody kind of knows what to do, we did some test transactions. We had some wallet issues with Electrum. We all figured out. So the bottom line is that we do have our kind of newer core treasury wallet installed. It's working. We've transferred the balance of EXOS from the previous wallet, which obviously had different treasurers on there, to the new wallet. The balance is showing up. We did some test transactions with co-signing and all that. So I think we're good to go. So if anybody's been waiting for tokens or refunding or all that, it's coming your way. So that's great. That's all I had. Over to you, Ying.
Yeah, I'll give a brief update on the onboarding process. And we have kicked off 2 sessions last week, and with 2 more, with 1 more this week, and it will continue until to the mid-December. The goal of the onboarding classes will be to help people understand EXO economy and how to use tokens, how to earn them, how to receive and send them, and so on. And related to that, for those who are new to the community, also learn about the EXO and EXO Foundation concepts. So that's underway. And the other thing is I'm starting to help people in both through Discord and through just people sending them to me to help them resolving any problems with the wallets, and just get everybody comfortable using the wallets and know how to get the tokens show up, and that's been going on well also. And in the process, learning more about what users are intent was by participating in the EXO economy. Some are more from the investment mindset, and a lot of them are trying to learn Web 3.0 concepts. And there are also a lot of people wanted to participate in the economy, so we'll try to help them with that. Yeah, and Academy is a website that's set up to to create online learning materials. So the onboarding class is a pilot to put on there so that in addition to the live meeting, that folks can also go there to study a little bit more on the concepts we discussed in the Zoom meeting. So that's, yeah, that's my update. And who's next? Kevin?
Awesome. Thanks, Ying. So on my end, firstly, just I guess sort of a proxy for the EXO Builder team. The Eberly book is nearing launch, so that's evidence-based entrepreneurship and lean innovation, and they are using EXOs as a mechanism for incentivizing folks with that launch. So be on the lookout for that. I know that there's folks that are here like Nikki, who are actually going through, and Angelo, I think maybe going through the initial base camp work with them, and that's really exciting. I'm actually, yeah, I'm super excited about EXO Builder because I mean, we know all critiques. I think also going to that. We know all the quotes, etc., around the fact that it's entrepreneurs and small teams, etc., that actually ultimately change the world, right? And make a massive change. And so it's really great to have the builder opportunity there for people in the community, and really awesome that the communities have come together, and we now have almost 16,000 people around the world, amazing people, and so that's really awesome. Then the next thing is on the exponential transformation guide that we put out a couple of weeks ago, and the translations have started. Community members translating, being rewarded in EXOs. We have French complete, and it's in the design studio. We have Italian complete, and it's in the design studio. We have simplified Chinese complete, and it's in the design studio. The poor design people are now swamped. And I know that Spanish for LATAM, I think, is almost complete. It's had a lot of comments there. I can't understand any of them. And I know that there've been a few to's and fro's about the way things are said in different countries. But really exciting to see that. And as I said, those folks that have translated will be receiving EXOs. So Ying, there might be some people there that have never had EXOs, so they might be saying, "Hey, how do I use this?" So that should be pretty good. And then yeah, as Eric did say, I'm really glad that we've got the treasury over, which is awesome. And there are a few items to fund folks that have used up their first tranche of EXOs, for example, and are ready for the next round to fulfill their what is the word? Don't have the word in my mind right now. Their program.
Well, this is the people who have made sway proposals that have passed. We're giving a grant. The grant is divided up into tranches, and now that they've used their first tranche, they're back to get their second round of funding, which is a wonderful KPI for us to be tracking, by the way, because we had about 29 projects go through. I don't know how many have made it all the way to their second or third or whatever tranche. So yeah.
Great. I think that may be it from my side.
Kevin, Ying makes a really good point in the chat, sending all the people who are new to EXOS her way to the Learn and Earn. So for these folks who are getting EXOS for the first time because maybe they translated the document, that the project that you're working on, that is a natural thing to do for them. And what a nice nicer than going in and having to sort of navigate your first path through Discord, which is always a little challenging at first. So, super cool. We'll send everybody we can your way, Ying. So, all right. In fact, we'll do a little Learn and Earn commercial here in a minute. Let's do it that way. All right, who was after Kevin? I forgot already. It was Nikki, Eric, Kevin. I think we said Vanessa, and then Lisa. Yeah.
All right. Good morning, team. I am sharing the latest stats on the chat, and I am working on a post to be shared on the community circle now that we have almost 16,000 community members, to follow all the social media channels. And please, people on this team, if you see anything posted on our channels, feel free to share it. I have a lot of likes, but if you can share it, spread the word about our community. And again, thanks to Lisa and the EXO Insights, because those are ones that bring a lot of attention with all those great articles from all the different members contributing with those. So just keep them coming.
Sorry, just community growth shows 435. I guess this is an artifact of the data cleaning. Yeah, so it's a little weird, but yes. I knew it grew low double digits. I don't know the exact numbers, Kevin, maybe you do, but we're seeing a good organic growth as well, just for the record. It's hard to see inside that number there. The other thing Vanessa and I were talking about over WhatsApp, and I was talking to Nikki about, Nikki was talking to us about in a different meeting, is we also need to report, these are the economies channels, this group. So I'm gonna start rolling these, Vanessa, into a meeting that happens every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And we'll get the same numbers reported back. And then there are some, you've added the YouTube channel. I see that, that's great.
Yeah, that's Open EXO.
But that's the point, that's Open EXO. Yeah. So we need to do we're gonna need to start differentiating a little bit, but collectively between all of these and the Open EXO followings, and then some key members of the community who are sharing a lot of things, like Celine, for example, like me in some cases. We've started to have quite a very significant a number of folks to talk to, and we're getting better at talking to them because we're actively consolidating, reducing, and getting a better handle on the volume of email, for example, that goes out. And so we're starting to see our open rates rise substantially, where like Lisa can give you the update, but she sees very substantial open rates, for example, for the EXO Insights article. So that's enough of that. Over to Lisa. Thank you, Vanessa.
Yes, so this week we have 3 articles coming out, one from Beatrice on discipline, grit, and rock and roll, the top 10 tips to become an exponential winner of your life. Nell Watson, part of the community, but new to Insight, is writing an article on regulatory challenges to catastrophic AI risk. Colin is doing 3 pillars of great leadership. So look for those this week. I also reached out to a lot more community members who expressed interest. So hopefully we'll keep getting more writers, more voices on EXO Insight. So if anyone has an idea, a piece that they want to write, reach out to me, especially if you are wondering, because someone messaged me and said, oh, I don't have a lot of experience with entrepreneurship and leadership, but we're looking for other topics as well. So things about transformation, technology, environment, DoWs, anything. So reach out to me and we can brainstorm if you're stuck. We also have a weekly writers club that meets on Thursday at 9 a.m. PST on Zoom. That's also a great way to kind of brainstorm and get some more ideas. As far as the book update for exponential organizations, I sent out an email to curators last week with some of the case studies we need help in getting more details for. So if you're a curator for the book, or if you have any interest in helping with the second edition, please let me know. I'm also working with Ian Morales in hoping to get the book up on Amazon at the end of this week or next week. So just getting a few more details. That's on my end. Angelo?
Right. Thank you, Lisa. Well, how you doing? Yesterday, I did a talk in Paraguay for a Paraguayan community. I was talking about the open EXO ecosystem and also about the Rotano ecosystem. This is a new community that is already being open in Paraguay. And this is cool. I invited, we did a road for the web page, how they can enroll for courses, what about the ExO economy, and also about the proposal in Sway and Rotano and everything. And it was very cool. And on the other hand, I'm super happy because El Salvador is founding the first Bitcoin city, which is super cool news. And everything is being accepted all over the world related to Bitcoin. But we are in the same way. We are a blockchain technology, and Bitcoin is a blockchain technology. And this is a good news for us, you know, and somehow you will be part of that too. I am meeting with some international publishers such as Pearson and also National Geographic for bringing some specific course for our academy. And we are working, basically we are in negotiation, understanding the business model, how we can access for that kind of courses. There are plenty of courses over there, but we are trying to be selected in terms of what are we going to teach, who and how much, all of that question. Last but not least is, I think we need to start working in terms of connecting with other crypto communities. There is almost 2,500 crypto communities all over the world. And you can take a look at crypto market, coin market cap. And we need to find a way that we can connect with them, maybe for bring more projects or share some initiative, or maybe build a pool with them using our token and their token and connecting with the community, you know. And yeah, that's my update.
The liquidity pool idea is that's a super cool idea, actually, to find other communities and build liquidity pools together on DeFi. I hadn't actually thought of it exactly that way. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, there is some way that we can do that, you know. Some of them is Binance is smart chain that you can build your own BP20 token. And on the other hand, as we told some weeks ago, is Balancer an option? It's a system.
Yeah.
And Aave, a MakerDAO also could be, maybe if we can have a proposal with them, we can also let it know that, all right, we are here, we can work together. We are in the same line, trying to be a DAO. What about if we can create maybe a pool for any specific challenges, such as we do with the Sway?
Well, you can make a DAO to make the, okay.
We've got 4 already in the works. So adding somebody
By the
else.
way, many DAOs is fine. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, a federation of DAOs is where this is going. So we might as well learn how to handle that because it's going to happen. So well, I'll give you an example. Sorry, this is very interesting, Angela. There's a project I've been studying. Actually, did something rather interesting. It's called synthetics. I'm not recommending or promoting synthetics. I don't know enough about it, nor would I do that on this channel anyway. So don't take this as any type of investment or any such thing. But they did something very interesting. When they were ready to migrate their existing legacy community to a DAO, they didn't just create one DAO. They created a DAO specifically for the treasury, for example. And then they made a DAO for kind of the community. They made a DAO for some other stuff. I don't remember how many they made. I've just run into them last week. And I think that's fascinating. So I hadn't thought about making an actual DAO to manage liquidity pools between federated communities. That's to me right this second, maybe you've been thinking about it, but to me right this second, that's a new idea. Very interesting idea.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Kent, because that's exactly what we're doing with EXO Angels. We basically have incorporated, we literally had to become a C corporation to be able to raise funds to become a DAO.
Well,
so I'm interested in finding people who know the legal, the accounting, all of the structure.
Why don't you ping me offline on that, because I have some thoughts for you, because what you did there is not what I would recommend anyone do for various reasons.
Okay.
But perhaps you didn't know that there were a couple of other paths, and so let's look at that together. And and I have a very specific reason for that I do not want to talk about on a live stream, but I will tell you. I will tell you one-to-one. Okay, it's not illegal or anything like that. It's just like you just have to be so careful about what you say, and I don't want anybody to misconstrue something as something that they shouldn't, right? That's all I'll say there. But you start to dance into really strange areas there, and we've walked a fine line for years now with the EXOs to make sure that we stay on the right side of that line. So I won't do anything that risks that, right? Because that's one of the community's digital assets is EXOs, and we need to take good care of that. But no, I love that idea, and I hadn't. The way I just said that, Nikki, is not the way I've heard you describe what you're doing with the thing. So let's talk about that and see if we can. That's a great idea, right? It's totally the right way to do it from a DAO perspective.
Right.
Maybe not from a legal structure perspective, but we'll get into that.
No,
it's the issue is you wanted to
teach others to do the same.
The issue is you wanted to be able to take dollars and put them somewhere, and so you needed a bank account, so you needed a legal entity, so you get into all these weird troubles. But I have a couple of ideas for you. I'll share with you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anyway, sorry for the tangent there, everybody. But as I said earlier in this meeting, I do want us to keep to our project update cycles, but I also want us to open up a little bit more and talk about crypto, talk about things. Of course, if you have something you want to talk about with this group that you don't want broadcast, we do that at the beginning, and we don't hide that. If you want to be on the private session, you got to come to the meeting, right? So that's fine. So let's keep going. Angelo, you were complete there. Anything else?
No.
Okay, please.
Pratik is having internet issues.
I have his update. Let me give Pratik's update really quick. It was short today. Welcome, Pratik. Sorry that your internet is wobbly today. It looks like Yena Tech is 21 days away from the launch of their, I'm going to say, I've seen some of the early UX. I'm going to call it not a minimum viable product, but a maximum viable product. It looks really cool. And they have, looks like commitments of about 50% from investors. They have verbal commitments from about 50% of investors to fund their basically angel round. So that's wonderful news. And I can personally tell you that the verbal commitment is one thing. Actually, having them send the money even after they sign a contract is quite something else. So good luck. We're here for moral support and such, and other things as well. So thank you, Pratik, for proxying your update. That is exactly how you should do it. Angela, now please pass off to someone other than Pratik, please.
What about Cesar? Did you do your update? No, not yet.
I can go quick. My update is mostly about the sister economy, Rotano. So let me share here with everybody. This is the Rotano Sway, which has been active for a few weeks now. There are already projects that have been created in the past 2 weeks and approved by the community, by Steven, Lauro, and some others. So that's going on. That's very cool. It's a team of 3 people: Angelo, Felipe, and Jose Nelson, who are leading it. And this is linked to EXO because Rotano created a Rotano circle within the EXO community to provide all the updates and transparency with all this system that is driven by the community itself. So that's a good thing. Then the second point maybe worth to mention is that last week there were a webinar with Rotano and with all Rotano community. Jerónimo presented about blockchain, about EXOS, about Rotano, and it was well received by the local community. And now Rotano has some offers within the ODOT, which is the marketplace from Rotano, and the communities are integrating more and more. So that's good, and of course EXO is part of it as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Cesar. Trevor.
Yeah, evening everyone from our side. Kent, I know that you've probably had some feedback. I think you got a meeting scheduled with the Forward Protocol people.
Yeah, I do.
But yeah, okay, great. So yeah, I'd actually put Mitch in contact with the EXO system. In fact, is Eric left the meeting because I still owed him a Zoom meeting.
It took me a while to find a meeting slot with Mitch because it's when I looked into his Calendly, it was like nothing overlaps, but except for my very early morning, and my mornings are just jam packed. So, but I eventually found one, and we've got him. I think I want to say I booked it for the 29th or 30th.
3rd of December. Mitch mentioned 3rd of December.
Yeah.
But I thought just for this group, yeah, I've been involved from an early stage, and again a little bit of the mentoring part, but I mean it really is something incredible. So a co-founder, this one guy in South Africa whom I know very well, and then there's a guy in India who's been very advanced in a lot of the various crypto initiatives over the years. But this particular one has a massive MTP around changing the way the world learns. So, nice. We actually, in fact, Mitch jumped the gun, Kent, because I said we need to set up a session with you. And I'd also forwarded him one of the Salim discussions. And anyway, through that call, he messaged Salim, and Salim responded. And the next minute they want to call. But we also presented to Emily a little while ago, and she was also going to chat with you guys. But yeah, in a nutshell, it's looking at a total tokenized system around education, and both a reward mechanism plus a payment mechanism around that. And they've got an anchor basis around starting with English. And allowing the world to have an entry into learning English where it actually rewards tutors is something they've got already as a 20-year-old plus website-based solution. So yeah, Kent, hopefully you'll be very excited. I might join that meeting on the 3rd. But I know there's some great opportunity, and I immediately, when I first saw it, I'd said to Mitch that we must link into EXOS because ultimately they can all come together in terms of an ecosystem around learning around. So I've been helping Mitch in terms of trying to make sure that they stay focused on their core MTP. And as I say, education, English is going to be one of the first of those environments. But the opportunity is to then reach into link into essentially being a platform across all education ecosystem, but they're not delivering content, they're providing a tokenized environment. So picture a person in India or Africa somewhere, a student learning, say, English, but getting rewarded for learning, and through that having a tokenized environment where they could, create an economy equally, they can be tutors. So yeah, really exciting, Kent, and I'm really particularly keen to get your input once you've heard more about it.
I really look forward to it. Sorry it took so long to find a meeting slot.
Yeah, the good thing is I think it's got some great potential and collectively we can work together around how can we link it into EXOS. I know Salim had a few thoughts around the tokens and how they can, but yeah, they really have got a huge backup from the broader, let's call it, crypto market makers, and because there's a very good MTP. There's some, as you know, people look for in the crypto space around something that's really got a purpose.
They are
And
now.
this is
That has
around-
not always been true, but that is very true.
No,
right
no,
now.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
So-
changed. It's going to change the course of our economy here too, right? There's no question in my mind because of the way crypto is effectively maturing to a degree. That's what you're describing, Trevor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this particular one around, education, and it's ultimately not trying to be the content provider. It's trying to be a pulling together. And that's why I saw such a great link in the EXOS. But equally, whether I'm just going to throw names, whether it's Udemy or Coursera, or in the future, it can be anything, any organization that's actually part of transferring knowledge. But the really incredible thing is it's rewarding people learning knowledge as well. So completing courses. But I think, at another time, I'd love for this group to, once you've had your briefing and update on it, depending how you feel about it, I think a couple of the people in this group will be very excited.
I love it. I tell Mitch
so
I look forward to seeing him.
I've been on the ride from quite early, in the sense, and when I say early, it's all happened this last couple of months. But they've been on the journey for some time around the broader English protocol and learning English globally across all the the various continents. But it really is a global MTP around sort of changing education. So I really look forward to your feedback as well.
Yeah, one of the companies I've been an advisor to for a number of years is working on soft skills education, which would be very complementary to this. And they have hundreds of thousands of users now. On the English side, I met a company in Peru years ago, and I'm struggling to remember the name of it. It was like Global English or something like that. They were huge.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've come into, but I don't think they really have made the transition to the space. And then Trevor, I might send you a couple of links to some interesting things I've discovered in the last week or two that I've been digging into as well that could play and in advance of Mitch. But then my kids are in a really interesting, two of my three kids that are old enough are in a new education program that is all gamified, and it's just been astounding how they've grown. So anyways, I'll whenever we get together for real, I'll share all of that and show you guys.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I look forward to hearing more.
It's actually quite incredible what has happened. It's amazing how this, as you say, one, the crypto space, but secondly, around different communities that have actually approached Forward Protocol around. There's from photography groups to there's a musician that's actually like that literally has hundreds of thousands of followers, and he's imagining a dream of actually teaching people music, but as part of what he does, sharing around their movement. So there's so many people have come through. So it's like somebody least expected, which I want saying we could just link into this protocol that's there. So I look forward to, and I'll probably hopefully I must check with Mitch. I must hopefully join your call on the 3rd. It'll be really great to make the links, and then for this grouping, it'll be really great to share that in more detail.
Really appreciate it. Nikki, to your point about the Academy, the Academy's taking a slightly broader stance than just EXOs, but trying to initially focus on educating the open EXO community members about crypto. And, folks need to pay attention to that, because I can tell you this is a digression from what you were saying, but a riff off of that, Trevor, in our own community of 16,000 folks, the average level of knowledge about how all this works and where it's going needs to grow. Let me put it that way. And it's a big job, Nikki, and saying it's a big job. We've been at it for a while. The town hall series for me, Nikki, is what really sort of opened it up. And I was like, oh, that's what we've got to do. I'm like, wow, okay. When we started sort of digging into DeFi and all those things in the early sessions. So even that, Trevor, Nikki, the town hall series is meant to be an educational series, basically, right? And at least that is how it's developed for sure. So
yeah, I mean, the one thing, Kent, is the DAS of that whole principle is more of the tokens. Ultimately, the intention is that they get distributed amongst the community, and obviously, again, so even those that are learning or attending or are actually earning, and that's the incredible sort of that distinction between, if you even take things like Udemy, every one of us have signed on courses but not completed, and it's finding ways that anyway. So yeah, it's really is something really exciting. I see a huge amount of opportunity to tie into EXOS as well.
Sure. There's another organization that we've worked with for many years called the Growth Institute that we're about to launch the newest version of the Open EXO, or the EXO. This time it's called the EXO Master Practitioner course, and it's meant to teach people how to leverage the sprint process within their own organization. So we've changed it up a little bit in the course design. The reason I mentioned it though is not that the first cohort of the new course starts on December 1st for us, but the reason it's interesting, Trevor, is because the Growth Institute, really since the genesis almost time for EXOs, has accepted EXOs for their course, right? And that was the way to tie those two communities together. Now they don't have their own tokens, so they basically use EXOs. I'm not suggesting that's correct for your use case; it's not. But the reality is that is an easy way. Is just accept the tokens, right? And we tell people and I think they do something like 10% of their students they let in for EXOs because they don't want to completely knock out their USD cash flow, right? But that's been a wonderful experiment that we've been doing there. It's worked. So
yeah, and then Kevin, for you, I definitely still need to get to Cape Town, but what I'll do is we'll make a plan with Mitch to have a little coffee beer catch up with you as well and give you a first hand.
Awesome.
So I look forward to that.
All right, we've got about 7 minutes,
Ken.
everybody.
Yeah,
you're absolutely this is the kind of stuff we want, right? People come and they ask and they show us what they're up to. We can talk about ways to get it together. That's the best way. One of the best ways we can spend our time here is finding ways to support one another, right? That's really what this is about. So with that, Lisa, did you go?
I did.
Everyone.
Okay,
Yeah.
everybody went. Sorry, I couldn't remember. So, all right. Well, we're pretty good. Does anybody have anything they need to get out there today, or are we?
I forgot to mention something.
Okay.
Let me share you the screen. We are having a meeting every Friday with the marketing team. And our last meeting, it was super interesting because we were discussing for almost 2 hours what we can do to incentivize the token usability inside the community. And then we decide to make an experiment. One of the attributes is experimentation. And we build this circle, call it a peer-to-peer decentralized way of trading. Basically, the idea here is all of you will use all of the assets that you want to interchange with other peers, maybe books, the DOM over here in Chile, tuition for any class, and a session, maybe not session, but could be something that can be useful as material, because mostly all of the marketplace for us is basic for consultant services. But what about the other side, the day-to-day stuff, And the idea here is we invite you to post all of the things that you want to interchange with your peers, or sales, or using EXOS, or 50/50, or any way that you want to interchange with the community. There you go. There is a circle right now. It's called peer-to-peer. It's a new way for decentralized this trading.
Like a barter
That's
system.
awesome.
Yeah.
Just let me tell you, we're looking at what you've just created an experimental minimum viable product of is what we want to do to the marketplace in general.
Yeah.
right? So there's a pilot. You can go see it already at openexo.com/marketplace. So what you're piloting here is awesome. And if I should connect you with the actual dev team, because we want to make this a first-class feature.
Awesome.
We've been working on it already. So you've anticipated that feature, and that's fantastic. That only provides an indication that it's a decent way to go, especially if you're hanging out and talking about it for hours. Let's see how we can support the circle to surface this kind of thing. Now, we wouldn't turn it into a crypto exchange, I have to tell you that, but the other stuff, right? Service exchange, product exchange, things like that. There would be issues in the near term about making it a crypto exchange. But you can trade, you can do whatever you want with your assets peer to peer. But from a platform perspective, there's some issues there. But that's fantastic. I love it, and I will check it out. So because I will be happy to see what you're trading, because we have some guesses about what people want to trade, but they're only guesses until we test it. So Angelo, that's great.
Yeah. That's all. Sorry about that. And
that's great. That's exactly what you want to do here. So anything else? Last call.
I just have one thing, which is absolutely not related to crypto at all, but came across my radar last night, I think. Is this company called Polycam, which essentially is allowing you to use your iPhone with the LiDAR and the camera to literally scan anything. Like they've scanned an entire abandoned mining town called Cerro Gordo, and it's just insane. So yeah, go and have a look. And you can actually also, using Mozilla Hubs, if you have a VR headset, you can actually go and visit what they've scanned. And so, yeah, just pretty cool. And then before the call, Kent did say I'd sent out a link to, and I don't have it in front of me right now, to what a regulator from the US had to say about what's happening with the US government right now on regulation around crypto. And pretty much he's just saying that, with the internet, the government was actually very, pro-innovation, and it seems like now it's not the case. A lot of the comments there say that, yes, because this is now essentially a lot more I guess close to home, getting rid of power opportunities, etc. But really interesting that people are saying these sorts of things. Things need to change. The one thing that was said there, which I said to my economics lecturer when I was doing my master's, was a lot of this stuff is based on theories, economic theories from the 40s, right? And currently in the US, they're using a precedent based on a 1948 case, and it's 2021.
Are you talking about the Howey? Are you talking about the Howey test?
Well, things like the Howey test. Yeah, I mean, how old is that, right? So
I don't think it's quite that old, but it's
yeah, I know that I think is from the 60s, but there's some other stuff from the 40s that have been cited.
Yeah, the initial securities trading laws and things like that are from 1938, as I recall.
Yeah.
But the fascinating stuff. I'm going to watch this as soon as we're off, because I want to see it. And I didn't get a chance to watch it. I only read the comments, which were fascinating. But what you reported, Angelo, happening in El Salvador, for example. Not sure I want to go on public. It's very exciting to see those types of experiments happening around the world, and I think we have a lot to learn from countries like El Salvador that are actually at least trying. Right? So let me put it that way.
small agile regions have an advantage here.
Well, and this is because if they become EXOs, effectively, right, Kevin? I mean, that's what El Salvador is doing, right? They're actually becoming more of an EXO. If you were to score El Salvador now on using EXQ as a country versus a year ago, before the Bitcoin announcements, you will find that their score has gone up pretty dramatically. And then with the announcement of Bitcoin City, and that right there is at the heart of it. So you're on mute, Angela. You're on mute, Angela.
Sorry about that. They create a bond system. You can be part of the city with $100. They build a huge ecosystem, and definitely we need to buy a plot over there.
That's a DAO, by the way. They're using bonds as a gateway to the creation of a DAO-like entity. So we're about to get into a whole other super interesting conversation around the use of debt instruments as a pathway to DAOs, which is not the current pathway to DAOs, but that's a whole other conversation. You just made me think of something hilarious, and then we're totally hanging up on this. In Scotland, I think it's Scotland now. I don't remember who posted this or where I saw it. I'm sorry, I can't remember if it was somebody here, but you can buy like a square meter of Scotland, right? They fractionalized Scotland. And then as soon as you have that, you're legally able to call yourself a lord. So if you buy a square meter of Scotland, I could then be Lord Kent, right? Which I'm pretty tempted. I got to be honest. I mean, it just sounds cool. I told my wife that, and she's like, "You better not." And I'm like, "But they give you a certificate and everything. It's so much better than the land we bought on the moon." And she's like,
"Yeah."
I was like, "Come on, have a little fun." I mean, But yeah, you can choose whether you want to be Lord, the English, British English spelling, or Laird, all right, the Scottish word. It's your choice. But then I said she'd be a lady, and I'm like, she didn't like that. That was a bad joke. Yeah. All right. So on that note, we will close before I embarrass myself further. And really enjoyed the call today. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and for all the amazing work that's happening throughout the ecosystem. It's amazing. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.